What really happened to the stars of Storage Wars? The ones who made us laugh, gasp, and cheer every time they struck gold or went home empty-handed. Some of them seemed to vanish overnight. Was it tragedy, secret drama behind the scenes, or something even more shocking? Stay tuned, because the truth is far different than fans ever expected, and it might just change how you remember the show forever. Barry Weiss wasn't just a cast member, he was the heart and soul of Storage Wars. With his vintage cars, mischievous grin, and those signature gloves, Barry turned every auction into an adventure. While others crunched numbers, Barry saw stories. A jukebox wasn't just scrap, it was music from another era. A dusty trunk wasn't junk, it was a hidden history waiting to be told. That's why fans adored him. But here's the twist, Barry didn't even need the money. He had already built a fortune in the produce business long before cameras ever rolled. For him, the auctions were just pure fun, and that freedom made him unpredictable. He'd bid on worthless lockers, ignore sure wins, and still walk away with fans' hearts. So why did he disappear after only 4 seasons? It wasn't a dramatic feud. Barry simply chose to walk away, quietly, on his own terms, like closing a favorite book and setting it gently back on the shelf. For years, he lived his dream life, classic cars, antiques, adventures, without the cameras. Until tragedy struck in 2019. Barry's world turned upside down when he was involved in a devastating motorcycle crash in Los Angeles. His injuries were life-threatening, broken bones, internal damage, and months of grueling recovery. The man who once lit up every auction now had to relearn how to walk. But here's where his true spirit shined. Barry faced recovery like another treasure hunt, patiently, step by step. And when he finally reappeared in public, fans were stunned. He was slower, more careful, but still Barry, smiling, joking, and proving that not even a near-death experience could dim his spark. If Storage Wars was a poker game, Dave Hester was the guy who slammed his chips down just to rattle the table. His infamous YUP became a battle cry, and love him or hate him, you couldn't ignore him. But in 2018, his voice suddenly went quiet. Late one night, Dave suffered a serious stroke. The loudest man in the room was suddenly fighting just to speak again. Fans couldn't believe it. After months of rehab, Dave slowly returned to the auction world. But something had changed. The once fiery competitor seemed calmer, more reflective. The man who lived for confrontation now seemed grateful just to keep living. It was a different Dave Hester, one fans learned to respect in an entirely new way. When Ivy Calvin stormed into the show, his arena football and MMA background made him a force to be reckoned with. Nicknamed the King of Palmdale, Ivy could spot treasure from a mile away. But then, fans noticed something. He was appearing less often. The booming voice, the competitive fire, it was fading. Why? Behind the scenes, Ivy was shifting focus. His health, his family, and his 2 sons began taking center stage. Instead of high-pressure bidding wars, the auctions became family outings, and though his presence on screen dimmed, his legacy as one of the most dependable and feared bidders remains unshaken. Darrell the Gambler Sheets lived up to his nickname. He'd throw thousands at a locker on nothing but instinct, and sometimes it paid off big. But in 2019, Darrell faced a gamble he never chose, a massive heart attack. It nearly ended his life. The man who thrived on adrenaline suddenly had to slow down, whether he wanted to or not. Fans missed his daring bids and wild energy, but his absence was a stark reminder that even the strongest personalities can be forced to step back when health is on the line. Brandy and Jared were the couple next door turned fan favorites. Their banter was electric, her cautious logic versus his reckless enthusiasm. Together, they built a thrift store and turned countless finds into profits. But off-camera, things were unraveling. By 2020, the shocking news broke. The couple had quietly split. No dramatic blowout on TV, no public scandal, just heartbreak. Brandy focused on her kids and stepped back from the spotlight. Jared faded too, and suddenly, one of the show's most beloved duos was gone, leaving fans wondering if Storage Wars would ever feel the same again. When Rene and Casey joined the cast, their teamwork and playful chemistry quickly made them fan favorites. But in 2023, tragedy struck. Rene's father passed away after a short battle with lung cancer. The loss reshaped their journey. The focus shifted from chasing profits to cherishing family, and while they still pop up in auctions, their story became less about competition and more about love, resilience, and legacy. No Storage Wars episode felt complete without Dan's lightning-fast chant and Laura's radiant smile. But in 2014, disaster nearly ended it all. Dan suffered a life-threatening brain aneurysm. Thanks to Laura's quick action, doctors were able to save him. The recovery was slow and grueling, but he made it back, though forever changed. Fans didn't just welcome him back to the auction block, they celebrated his survival. Mary Padian never looked at a locker the way others did. Where others saw junk, she saw possibilities. Her creativity, quirky energy, and ability to repurpose treasures made her stand out. But Mary's journey eventually moved beyond TV. She built her online store, traveled, and focused on projects close to her heart. Though she stepped away, fans still remember her as the one who proved Storage Wars could be about passion, artistry, and imagination, not just profit. Emily Wares brought serious talent to the show. Already an award-winning auctioneer at just 27, she impressed everyone with her speed and professionalism. But after a short run, she chose a different path: family life, music, and personal passions. Today, she proves that stepping away from the spotlight doesn't mean losing your shine. And then there's Kenny Crossley, the fan favorite with a southern drawl and a sense of humor that could light up any room. Starting as Barry Weiss's sidekick, Kenny quickly won hearts on his own. But over time, he too appeared less frequently. No drama, just new adventures. A clothing line, a donut shop. Kenny's still out there making people smile, just not always in front of the cameras. So what really happened to the stars of Storage Wars? Some faced tragedy, others chose family, a few simply walked away. But through it all, they left behind something priceless, memories that made us laugh, cry, and believe in the thrill of discovery. Now I want to hear from you. Who is your favorite Storage Wars star? And which story shocked you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep the conversation going. Because in the end, maybe the real treasure of Storage Wars was never in the lockers at all.